In the animal world, being tough and fighting for survival is at the top of the list. Finding food and fighting for your food is an everyday thing for animals, and along the way they do some pretty weird things that us humans just can't understand. Scientists have stumbled upon all sorts of bizarre things that animals are doing, from ants eating their own to scorpions simply just glowing in the dark. Here are the weirdest things animals do. Number 13. Bird feeding a goldfish. Now, bird feeding a fish is definitely a weird thing to witness, and you are probably even wondering, why would a bird feed a fish? Well, we can't know for sure. The video shows a bird going alongside a goldfish pond and dropping what seems to be seeds into their mouths. Now, the best possible explanations people have for this is the bird is confused and the fish is a baby bird to it. The color and the size of the fish are similar enough to a baby bird, and the size and shape of the open mouth of the fish resembles a hungry baby bird. So the first insect the adult bird has to provide food for the baby bird, or in this case, the hungry goldfish. Number 12. Cannibalistic ants. Okay, this whole story is just weird and a bit creepy. We know a bunch of animals that eat their own, but this is the first time we have heard about an ant. These ants are trapped in a nuclear bunker in Poland, and while people thought that the ants may die in there, they did the complete opposite. They survived by eating their dead. They were found in 2013 by a group of scientists looking for bats, but instead they found thousands of ants trapped there. After a bunch of research, scientists have confirmed that the ant actually survived by eating their own. The scientists have later on installed a form of a bridge to help the ants find their way out of the bunker. Number 11. Collective baboon apathy. We have already seen how much monkeys can imitate humans and act like them, but these baboons living in the Dutch zoo definitely took it to the next level. Have you seen baboons going on strike? Well, this situation definitely looks like that. It happened in 2013 while the baboons were doing their normal selves and doing their regular things. They all of a sudden stopped and simply sat there. It was a really strange thing to see. They were acting strangely, sitting with their backs turned to visitors, and they were even refusing food. No one knows what happened and what caused this strange behavior, but they believe that something might have spooked them. Number 10. Blue whale changes song. For years, blue whale songs have been recorded and used for most of the white noise sound machines. But recently, scientists have noticed something weird going on. Not with the particular song, but with the whale itself. They noticed that whales are singing in deeper and deeper voices each year. No one is quite sure why their voices are changing, but they are still researching and guessing the cases. Few of the reasons that they believe this might be happening is the ocean noise pollution and new mating strategies, but none of them are convinced about either of them. So the research will continue on, and hopefully we can get an answer on why their voices go deeper each year. Number 9. Owls twisting their head 270 degrees. Can you imagine if you could twist your head a full 270 degrees? Well, we can't, but owls can. So we can just admire how they're able to do that, but at the same time question ourselves, why can they do that? Being the only animal with this incredible flexibility, the owl can twist their heads without breaking blood vessels or tearing tendons. While humans and other animals can turn their eyes to see things, owls have fixed eye sockets. So in order for them to see something that's not in front of them, they have to move their entire head. And what makes them flexible is the one socket pivot that they have, where humans have two, and that limits our head movements. Number 8. Zombie ants. So they're not actually born as zombie ants. The reason behind the name is the actual fungus that attacks the ant and turns it into some version of a zombie. The deadly parasite infects the ant and controls with its mind, as scientists have discovered. After being infected, the first week the ants act normal, but they begin to have trouble moving and even have muscle spasms. Scientists are still not sure how the fungus forces the ant to take a bite so it can be infected, and after a lot of studies they still don't have the correct answer. And the grand finale of this fungus involves sending toxic spores blooming from the dead ant's head. Number 7. Female chickens changing sex. Animals changing sex definitely sounds more than weird, but there are a few species that can actually do this, usually when they're not opposite gender members. While female chickens can naturally change into the opposite gender, they are not actually functionally male. They just take on the appearance of a male. The reason this is happening is that female chickens have two sex organs and one of them turns into an ovary and one stays dormant. So naturally speaking, it can happen. She'll stop laying eggs, she'll grow a wattle and a comb, everything to appear as a male, but she won't mate with other females because she's still genetically a female. Number 6, African lungfish can survive out of water. A fish that could survive without water? Strange, right? The African lungfish can live in suspended animation without food or water for 3 to 5 years. Usually they go into hiding when they feel like they're in trouble, but when they bury themselves in the soil where it gets air. What makes this fish interesting is the fact that they can live both in water and on air. Even though it lives mainly underwater, the fish still needs air every half an hour. When dry season comes, the water turns into puddles, and this lungfish digs himself into the soil and stays there as long as it takes, or until water comes back. Number 5, Komodo dragons don't need males to reproduce. The lady Komodo dragon can actually self-reproduce. This is caused by both male and female chromosomes it has, so they have all the genetic materials needed for an embryo to be developed. This actually happens in the London Zoo, where female Komodo dragon laid 8 eggs with this form of reproduction. This is the first time scientists have seen this form of reproduction happening on a Komodo dragon. So they did a research and the eggs had only her DNA. This is definitely the first time we see a Komodo dragon, but with further research they discovered that they're able to reproduce both sexually and asexually, which definitely makes them one of a kind. Number 4, glow-in-the-dark scorpions. We admit glow-in-the-dark things are awesome, but have you ever heard of scorpions that glow in the dark? Well, scorpions do glow while being exposed under a UV light or under a very strong light of the full moon. The reason why they glow is still unknown to this day, but this might be a bad thing for the scorpions. As they hunt at night the same time as their predators, this glow-in-the-dark thing might be deadly for them, or it might leave them with no food since the insects tend to run away when they see a glowing scorpion. So if you ever want to see one, just take a UV light and start searching. Number 3, the venomous stonefish. The most venomous fish in the world is exactly this one, the stonefish. They have excellent camouflage that resembles a rock or a coral, so you might even swim up to one but not even notice it. But don't worry, if you don't mess with it, it won't attack you, but if you step on it, well, that's a different story. It has 13 spines lining the back that release venom under pressure. The more venom they release, the worse it's going to be for you. The venom results in terrible pain, swelling, and even death. Even though they have only been a few deaths, this sting requires immediate medical attention. Number 2, sloths trek to the toilet. Sloths are known for being lazy and slow, and they spend most of their days high in trees. But for some reason, sloths will climb all the way down to go to the toilet. Usually they go probably once a week, but that is due to their extremely slow metabolism and restricted leaf diets. Knowing that sloths basically do not and don't put any effort into anything, well, except pooping. Nobody knows why they go all through that trouble for heading down. Not only does it take a lot of energy, but it's not the safest activity since there are many predators on the ground. So even though we don't have an explanation why they do this, it's still a pretty bizarre thing for an animal to do. Number 1, male seahorses get pregnant. Probably one of the weirdest ones we have out there is that male seahorses get pregnant. Of all the animals out there, while the females all of them get pregnant, the seahorses do different things. They are the only animals in the world where the male gets pregnant. Well, how does this happen? Well, the female releases the eggs to the male's abdominal pouch, where he keeps them in for 24 days until they're born. They can carry up to 2,000 babies at once. Now, what exactly happens into the pouch, nobody knows for sure, but they are still researching what happens, and we believe we'll have the answers in no time. On a related note, we wanted to know, are there other weird things that we haven't mentioned? Let us know in the comments section below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing videos such as this one. And as always, Thanks for watching, guys.